While the pioneering work of scientists like Fourier, Tyndall and Arrhenius laid the foundations for understanding the greenhouse effect and the potential for human activities to influence the Earth's climate, the first half of the 20th century witnessed a growing body of evidence and scientific inquiry that began to solidify the link between rising carbon dioxide levels and global temperature changes. One of the key figures in this era was British steam engineer and amateur meteorologist Guy Stewart Callendar. In the 1930s, Callendar conducted extensive research and calculations, compiling historical temperature records and atmospheric carbon dioxide measurements. Callendar's findings, published in a series of papers between 1938 and 1941, provided compelling evidence that the Earth's temperature had risen over the previous century, and he attributed this warming trend to the increasing concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere due to human activities, primarily the burning of fossil fuels. While Callendar's work faced initial skepticism from the scientific community, it represented a significant early attempt to quantify the relationship between atmospheric carbon dioxide and global temperature changes using empirical data. Other scientists began to explore the theoretical underpinnings of what was becoming known as the greenhouse theory. Building on these early modelling efforts, physicist G.N. Plass published a series of influential papers in the 1950s, further refining the understanding of the greenhouse effect and the role of various greenhouse gases in absorbing and trapping infrared radiation. Plass's work laid the groundwork for more sophisticated climate models and helped pave the way for future research into the complexity of the Earth's climate system. In the 1950s, a few scientists began to raise concerns about the potential consequences of rising carbon dioxide levels and global temperature changes. However, their warnings were often met with skepticism or indifference from the scientific community and the general public. One notable example was American scientist Roger Revelle, who co-authored a paper in 1957 warning about the potential for human activities to cause global warming. Revelle later went on to become a vocal advocate for climate change research and awareness. One of the most significant developments in this era was the continuous measurement of atmospheric carbon dioxide levels, initiated by American scientist Charles David Keeling in 1958. Keeling's precise measurements at the Mauna Loa Observatory in Hawaii revealed a steady increase in atmospheric carbon dioxide concentrations, now famously known as the Keeling curve. This graphic representation of rising CO2 levels provided indisputable evidence of the impact of human activities on the Earth's atmosphere. The Keeling curve became an iconic visualization of the climate change phenomenon and a powerful tool for raising public awareness about the growing imbalance in the Earth's carbon cycle. The 1960s witnessed a growing environmental consciousness, fueled by landmark publications like Rachel Carson's Silent Spring and the formation of environmental organizations like the Environmental Defense Fund and the Natural Resources Defense Council. While climate change was not yet a central focus, this era laid the groundwork for broader public awareness of environmental issues and the potential impacts of human activities on the planet. As the 1970s unfolded, the scientific consensus around human-caused climate change began to solidify. Influential reports such as the 1972 Study of Man's Impact on Climate and the 1975 Charmy Report provided comprehensive assessments of the available evidence and projected potential future climate scenarios. The 1979 World Climate Conference, organized by the World Meteorological Organization, brought together scientists from around the world to discuss the emerging climate crisis and call for coordinated international action. The 1980s marked a significant turning point in the climate movement, as public awareness and policy debates around climate change intensified. In 1988, NASA scientist James Hansen testified before the US Congress, presenting compelling evidence that human activities, particularly the burning of fossil fuels, were contributing to a warming global climate. Hansen's testimony garnered widespread media attention and sparked a national conversation about climate change. The same year, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, or IPCC, was established by the United Nations Environment Programme and World Meteorological Organization to provide regular scientific assessments on climate change, its potential impacts, and strategies for mitigation and adaptation. If you found this video interesting or useful, we'd really appreciate it if you gave it a like. And if you'd like to hear more on climate history, climate technology, and climate accounting, we'd love it if you'd subscribe and enable notifications. Finally, if you're interested in developing your environmental and sustainability skills, we offer the friendliest climate courses in the world. And we're offering 10% off all courses with the code YouTube. Click the link in the description below or head to footprintconsulting.org/courses.